Man, what has this game become? That's right, I'm gonna be talking about Overwatch 2 again. I know it's been quite a while since the last time I ever talked about this game, back when I made that whole rant about them canceling the PvE and kind of going this completely new direction for the game. I look back at the video and there's some stuff that I kind of regret saying. I feel like it was a little bit rude of me, kind of putting all the blame into the developers, because obviously it wasn't all them. There was obviously other bigger powers at Activision Blizzard at the time that kind of made them take the decision that they eventually took. That doesn't change the fact that I'm still pissed about it. The main thing I was excited about Overwatch 2 was the whole concept of actually having a PvE story mode to the game. That was one of the main things that was going to separate Overwatch 2 from Overwatch 1. Now it's just Overwatch 1 again, just with a different coat of paint, and it's like, man, what happened? No, I'm not here to just shit on Overwatch again, though that doesn't mean that's not gonna happen. I really want to talk about the state of Overwatch 2 right now and kind of what they're doing, really just the state of my relationship with this game, because I've stuck with Overwatch for so many years. Ever since the game launched in 2016, I've followed this game from the beginning, man. So it is kind of interesting to look at Overwatch as to how it started and where it's at right now. First thing I want to talk about is loot boxes. Oh dear. For a while, there were rumors that Overwatch had plans to bring back loot boxes. Now, how that would happen, we didn't really know at the time, but now they are fully back, and I really do not like how they work in Overwatch 2. The way loot boxes worked in Overwatch 1 is that when you open a loot box and you got a bunch of duplicates of stuff that you already had, the game would reward you with in-game credits that you would later use on actual cosmetics that you wanted to own. But in Overwatch 2, they completely changed that, where now if you just get a duplicate, it means absolutely nothing. The way that loot boxes work in Overwatch 2 is incredibly confusing. To this day, I do not understand what the point of them is. I get that they've tried to find ways to make it more fair to get something that you actually want, whether it be a legendary skin, or an emote, or a highlight intro. It's cool stuff like that, right? But it also kind of makes it hard now to get in-game credits. Now, the only way you get in-game credits is just slogging yourself through the battle pass, or just doing the weekly/daily challenges, which are not very fun to do. One day they made a whole Overwatch event where they kind of showcase some of the future of the game, some new modes, some new cosmetics. This is the event where they revealed that loot boxes were coming back into the game, and this is where things kind of get a little bit more interesting. This is where they introduced the new game mode, Stadium. Now in Stadium, you just pretty much play a bunch of different Overwatch modes. It kind of gets chaotic because through each match, you earn different points. With these points, you can buy different upgrades for your character. Now, when you choose a character, you are locked to that character, so there's no changing character. The only thing that you can really change is some of the abilities that you can get for your specific character. And really looking at all the stuff and abilities that are in Stadium, this is where all the resources that they had done for the PvE campaign kind of went to. A lot of the abilities that were specific to characters that were showcased for the PvE are in Stadium. So they didn't throw all that stuff away in the trash, but it's still disappointing to see that all this stuff still works. It's still pretty much usable. It's now just being used in a game mode that, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't think Stadium is that fun. Stadium is very long, at least depending on how good the teams are. It's almost as long as Push. Push is also one of those new game modes that they introduced into Overwatch 2 at the release, and it was incredibly sluggish. To this day, playing Push is so painful. It's so goddamn boring because these matches last so long. It just makes it incredibly infuriating even if you're winning. They've also introduced a couple of new characters. I mean, this was even before the latest update, but recently they released a new character, Freya, and I think she's cool. I mean, in terms of the personality, we haven't seen much of her actual personality, but gameplay wise, I think Freya's actually pretty cool. I'll say this, I think Overwatch 2 has gotten a little bit better with their characters. With characters like Venture and Mauga, those are really cool characters, and I feel like Freya is up there with those kind of characters. Because for a while, characters like Sojourn, Junker Queen, Juno, and even Ramatra, even though Ramatra's cool, their gameplay isn't necessarily exciting, and their personalities are also kind of They've also done a couple of changes to some of the maps, and I'm gonna be honest, I do not like when they rework maps, because there's some point where I just get so used to how a map works and how it's laid out that the moment you change it, it's going to be distracting and it's gonna take some time to learn it again and get used to it, which I get, that happens with everything. But some of these changes genuinely feel like Okay, what even was the point of this? They've just changed so many things with some maps that has been very stupid, that adds nothing to the actual gameplay experience. Why are you doing this? Like, there's no reason why these changes to maps specifically should exist. Like, none of them benefit the gameplay, none of them actually benefit the level design of the maps. It's just kind of a big old mess by the end, and it really annoys the ever-living shit out of me. Another big problem I have with Overwatch 2 is the fact that monetization in this game is absolutely insane. The fact that there's like 3 or 4 different types of monetization or in-game monetization is really confusing sometimes. I'm like, okay, you have the normal credits that kind of work with Overwatch 1 that also work in Overwatch 2. But then you also have the gold credits that are the ones that are most useful if you want to get the new stuff instead of the old Overwatch 1 stuff, which is annoying, it's stupid, but okay, I kinda get it. But now you also have different credits for other things. There's the credits that are unique to mythic skins, and it's like, why you need to make this more complicated? There's also the credits that you get through competitive that also kind of has its own funky way of working that I don't fully understand. It's really confusing. Monetization in Overwatch 2 is so butt fucking annoying. It is stupid how it works. It makes no goddamn sense, and the fact that there's so many different types of monetization in this game, they don't know how this fucking free-to-play kind of live service style of game works. Like, look at Fortnite. Fortnite is simple because the only type of in-game monetization that the game has is through skins with the V-Bucks, and it's like, okay, that's easy to understand. But here in Overwatch 2 is like, there's so many different types of in-game credits that I just get confused what works with what, and it's just so fucking annoying. I hate it. Aside from that, that's really all Overwatch 2 is. Like, I'm not saying that they haven't tried to salvage this game, but I'm gonna be completely honest, every time I play the game, I'm just not enjoying it. I feel like the game has a lot of balancing issues as well. I feel like there's some characters that are way too overpowered. There's also a lot of other characters that are severely underpowered. Like, the way that balancing in Overwatch has worked for years has never been perfect, but I look back at how Overwatch 1 kind of worked. At least there was an actual science to how balancing worked in the original Overwatch. In Overwatch 2, it's just fucking all over the place. Tanks, when it comes to combat, have become almost useless. I mean, the fact that I can barely do jack shit with Roadhog, or Malga even, is kind of ridiculous. Support characters are still severely underpowered to the point where, I mean, only a couple of actual healers can do as much damage as DPS or even tanks, which is like ridiculous to me. And DPS are all over the place. There are some DPS that are very good right now, but there's also some DPS that I feel like could use a little bit of tweaking, and I feel like that's the problem. Again, the balancing in Overwatch 2 is so messy. It's all over the place. There's no consistency how characters are balanced. Characters that should be more powerful are underpowered. Characters that are very underpowered should be more powerful. It is just an absolute disaster when it comes to character balancing. But even if I'm winning a lot of matches, there's something that feels very unsatisfying about winning in Overwatch 2. Like, look at something like Marvel Rivals. I feel like Marvel Rivals really rewards players for trying different things, for going for a different strategy, for playing different characters. It's cool, but in Overwatch 2, the game barely rewards you for playing good, and it's kind of insane that I feel like if you played better, you would get better reward for it. But no, in Overwatch 2, rewards are very weird. Like, the way they reward you is like, oh, you'll get a couple of credits, or you'll get a cosmetic that you don't care about, and that's it. This does not motivate me to keep playing this game. I know it sounds ridiculous to say that, oh, I miss the times of Overwatch 1. But the thing is that you look back at Overwatch 1, and the game has so much more sauce to it. It has so much more style. I feel like Overwatch 2 lacks so much sauce. It lacks so much style. And the fact that now you don't even get like stories for the characters that you enjoy. The only time you ever get that is through cinematic trailers. And it's like we even barely get that at this point. Overwatch has just become a shell of itself at this point. It's really disappointing. I don't really desire playing this game a lot. I still play it because it's like the only game I can play on my PlayStation for some fucking reason. But it's like, I'm not excited to play this game. I'm pretty much bored anytime I play the game. It's better when you're playing it with friends, but even then, it's like, this isn't very fun at all. I do appreciate the developers trying to make the best out of a really bad bad situation with Overwatch 2, but it's just not really grasping me, at least right now. I still want to give them a chance to try to prove me wrong, but it just kind of keep proving me right every update. But what do you think about Overwatch 2? Are you enjoying the game in the state that it is right now? Are you expecting maybe a little bit more in the near future, or have you just completely given up? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about the state of Overwatch 2 right now. And like always, good night and stay safe.